Hello everyone and welcome to Mountain Lake Journal. I'm Tom Halleck. A labor relations board this week ordered Canada's two largest rail companies to resume service, ending a 4-day shutdown that disrupted rail service across Canada and the northern United States. The Independent Canadian Industrial Relations Board stepped in after the Canadian government asked it to intervene in the labor disputes at Canadian National and Canadian Pacific, Kansas City, that led to the lockout of 9,000 members of the Teamsters Union last week, triggering a nationwide rail stoppage. For businesses on this side of the border in Plattsburgh, any disruption in service could spell trouble. Tanner Baraby co-owns South Junction Enterprises in Plattsburgh, a company he says handled more than 770 rail cars in the past year.
The rail cars come in full. They have roughly 100 ton in each rail car, which is 3 tractor-trailer loads. So we use conveyors to unload those bulk commodities into tractor-trailers, and then they're delivered. That's called the final mile.
Baraby says his business would certainly feel the impact if freight service is shut down heading in or out of Canada.
1/3 of all the commodities shipped in the United States come by rail. It is a lot cheaper to ship by rail. You get a lot more weight in a rail car. You get 3.5 tractor-trailer loads in one rail car, and a lot of big companies rely on rail.
This is unprecedented.
Garry Douglas, the president and CEO of the North Country Chamber of Commerce, says in Montreal alone, roughly 30% of the cargo makes its way to the United States, half of which, he says, is delivered by rail.
Some of our companies use rail to bring supplies in for their manufacturing operations. One of those is Schluter Systems here in Plattsburgh, which some of its sand and cement materials come from the north as opposed to coming from the south.
In addition, Douglas says North Country leaders are also worried the shutdown could delay the return of Amtrak's Adirondack line. The passenger rail service has been suspended for months, the entire summer, as workers with Canadian National have been renovating a stretch of tracks in Canada. He says Amtrak has plans to resume service in just a couple of weeks, in early September. And the New York Congresswoman Elise Stefanik has been in contact with both rail companies in hopes of getting the Adirondack line back up and running as planned.
They're looking for some further reassurance just to be on the safe side from Amtrak, which they haven't yet obtained. But CN has been very reassuring to them that the necessary track work is on schedule, and they see nothing that should interrupt service through the end of this year or again next year.
Douglas says he hopes the labor disputes in Canada get resolved without another shutdown.
Work it out, whatever the method is, if it's some kind of order to return to work, mandatory binding arbitration, whatever it takes, don't let this play out more than a few days.
And for Tanner Baraby, he says anything more than a few days could create significant challenges.
We're prepared to, be able to sustain for about a week, but other than that, we hope they come to an agreement.
The Rail Workers Union has gone before a federal court in Canada challenging the back-to-work order.